is, and how I feel like that he's a godlike man who makes his decisions for the best interest of the school system. It's a pleasure to serve with you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to serve you. Lee County Schools will join 133 other school divisions throughout the state to celebrate School Board Appreciation Month in February. Almost 850 elected and appointed school board members throughout Virginia will be recognized by schools and communities for their service and dedication to public education. The theme of this year's celebration, Local Schools, Local Decisions, reflects the importance of ensuring that the future of public education remains in the hands of the community it serves. Local school boards keep the public in charge of public schools since they represent their community's beliefs and values. In Lee County, school board members must develop policies and make tough decisions on complex educational and social issues impacting the entire community. They bear the responsibility for an annual budget of approximately $39 million, 3,200 students, and 11 school campuses. The foundation of school leadership is ensuring equal learning opportunities for all students. We're proud of our school division, and School Board Appreciation Month is the time to recognize and to celebrate the accomplishments of our elected trustees. As a way of saying thank you to our school board members for their service and dedication to Lee County Public Schools, we have a certificate of appreciation, as well as gifts and tokens of appreciation from the different schools and from the central office staff, and those, as you can see, are here on the front. At this time, I'd like to present each member of the board with a certificate of appreciation. The Virginia School Board Association Member Certificate of Appreciation is presented to each board member in recognition for your dedication and service to excellence in education on behalf of the students of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Mike Twigg. Debbie Jessup. Kyle Chadwick. Ty Harper, thank you. Don Williams.
Thank you. I wish I had voted for you for that other award now.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Next is the VSBA School Board Clerk Appreciation Week, February 17th through the 21st, 2014.
The Virginia School Board Association Board of Directors has designated the third week in February, February 17th through the 21st, as Virginia School Board Association School Board Clerk Appreciation Week, with the goal of building awareness of the role of board clerks and the part they play in assisting school board members, superintendents, and their local schools. The Virginia School Board Association encourages all school boards to take the opportunity to acknowledge your local school board clerks by officially designating the third week in February as School Board Appreciation Week. Later in the meeting, we'll ask you to approve a resolution proclaiming the third week in February as the School Board Appreciation or School Board Clerk Appreciation Week. And as a way of saying thank you to the school board clerks for the job that they have done and that they continue to do. They work hard for our board, for myself, and as well as for our schools. We want to present them with a certificate of appreciation, and I think the schools have also provided them with some gifts as well. So I want to say thank you to them, and at this time I'll present them with their certificates of appreciation. The school board appreciation certificates say Virginia School Board Clerk Appreciation in honor of your dedication and hard work for public education through continued service to the students. Alicia Fields. Thank you. Kathy Bergen. Denise. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you.
Next, we would like to recognize the schools with the highest percent of attendance.
Okay, the schools for the highest percentage of attendance for the month of January is first place is St. Charles Elementary School with 97.60, and Flatwoods Elementary comes in second with 95.19. So congratulations to those two schools.
Next to be recognized, the spelling bee winners, Ms. Adams.
Good evening. Tonight we want to recognize the participants in the 52nd Lee County Spelling Bee that was held January the 16th in the Smith Auditorium. This was the Scripps Howard National Spelling Bee, and we had 9 participants that participated in the spelling bee representing their schools. Cody Lane from Dryden, Caleb Fritz from Elk Knob, and he's here. Step up. Alden Muncie from Islingdale, Sean Hampton from Flatwoods, Sid Barrett from Jonesville Middle School, and Sid was the champion speller, and he'll be representing Lee County Public Schools in Knoxville on March the 8th at 9:30. And we hope that he'll be going on, and maybe another one also, to DC. He represented Pennington Middle School, and we want to thank the principal for being here tonight and supporting his student. We have, I'm sorry. There. Then we have Tyler Hammonds. Come over here. Everybody knows Tyler? He represented Pennington Middle School, and he said his principal is here also, and we commend him for doing so. Tyler was second, but Tyler plans to go on, and he's already registered for the contest or a competition at Knoxville. So between these, we hope that we'll have a winner go on. We have Alexander Wilson from Rose Hill, and then we have Jacob Jenkins, which was St. Charles, and I want to tell you that his principal was very proud of this boy. You'd have to know his history to know how proud he was of Jacob, and he was third place. And then we have Kennedy Sumter, Thomas Walker. So let's give him a big hand. And we extend our congratulations to you. And they received a silver dollar from the Lee County School Board that night. Thank you. Thank you, parents.
I'd have to say that, as far as I'm concerned, all 9 of those kids were winners. Sometimes you can be the best and you still get a word that sticks you there. And you've got gumption enough, particularly at their age, to get up in front of a bunch of people. I couldn't do it. And the Don't ask me how to spell anything, so.
Just
they're all
one other
winners
thing I
for me.
wanted to say that was very unusual about this competition. Did you notice? They were all boys. And they were all spelling champions representing their schools, all male.
Noble lungs at all in there.
What?
Noble lungs at all in there.
I don't know where those girls were.
Next, we recognize Virginia Tech Honors Band and all district band participants, Mr. Carter.
We had 6 students that participated in the Virginia Tech Honors Band. Lee High School had 4, Jacob Polly, Dylan Tomlinson, Isaac Gamble, Isaac Miller, and Adam Wright from Jonesville Middle School, and Hannah Martin from Pennington Middle School. The students that participated in the District 7 Honors Band were Blair Dean, Taylor Hines, Zachary Trees, Emma Poe, Mine Luchapon, Isaac Miller, Elijah Polly, Jacob Polly, Isaac Gamble, Dylan Tomlinson, Patrick Allen, and 2 middle school participants, Jonesville Middle School, Sawyer Miller, and Pennington Middle School, Sherry Miller. So congratulations to those students.
It's a bunch of kids.
And those here in
Any of those participants here? The senior high all district course, Mr. Carter.
Senior high all district course students under Miss Carrie Belcher performed in Carroll County this past weekend. And we had students from Lee High School and Thomas Walker to participate. Lee High students, Erica Collins, Megan Klaus, Brianna Dowse, Angela Manus, Josh Bocock, Logan Strange, and Dylan Tomlinson. From Thomas Walker High School, Andy Gillum. And congratulations to Dylan Tomlinson for being selected all Virginia, all state course. Congratulations to those students as well.
Next, Mr. Carter, the drawing card.
We had 3 students. I don't know, actually I had not really noticed these students being in the paper until just recently, and it's called my attention. We have 3 students from Lee County that have been featured in the Kingsport Times News drawing card. I think you all have copies of that, but Logan Fritz from Elton Knob Elementary, Keegan Johnson from Elton Knob Elementary, and Jeffrey Poole from Elton Knob Elementary. So congratulations to those students for being featured in the Kingsport Times News drawing card.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Next on the agenda is the public expressions part of our meeting. Anyone wanting to come and speak before the board? Manager, select the time to do so. We ask that your comments be contained in about 5 minutes. Anybody wanting to take advantage of this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to the report section. First report's from Mr. Carter. It's 2014 VSBA Regional Spring Network Forum Schedule. Mr. Carter.
The Southwest Virginia Forum will be held on Thursday, May the 8th. Last year it was held at Bristol, Virginia Public Schools, their central office. Not sure where it's going to be held this year. As I said, more information will be forthcoming.
Mr. Carter?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, it will be somewhere in Tazewell County.
Okay.
Tazewell County is going to be hosted.
Next, we have the VSBA Hot Topic Conference, March 26, 2014.
You have in your packet a hot topic conference that the Virginia School Board Association is sponsoring in Whitfield, and board members are encouraged to attend that if at all possible.
Item C, the National School Breakfast Week, celebrated March 3rd through the 7th in all schools. Ms. Gardner.
Mr. Carter, board members, I just wanted to let you know that National School Breakfast Week is March 3rd through 7th. I'd like to thank our staff. I think they do an excellent job. I'd like to invite you to have breakfast with our staff and students that week at any of those schools. And also invite you to look at the website. We've added a school nutrition link on there if you get a chance. Again, our staff works very hard in doing that. We serve about 4,000 meals per week. And I think with the staff we have, they do an excellent job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just one question, starting. Will one of those days have green eggs and ham, since that will also fall within Dr. Seuss's birthday?
Well, I was asked that question today, and we are looking at the menus, and if it falls within the regulations, we'll be glad to do that.
The Advanced Ed Accreditation, Mr. Carter.
I think I reported earlier that our advanced ed our accreditation will expire on June the 30th, and we do have to host an external review visit no later than the first week of May 2015 to be considered for reaccreditation through advanced ed. I also received notice in a letter dated February the 6th that on January the 23rd, the Advanced Ed Accreditation Commission reviewed and took action on the accreditation progress report that was filed with Lee County Schools, and the Advanced Ed Commission accepted the report and granted continuation of the district's accreditation term.
Any comments or questions about that? Next, Mr. Carter, the enrollment.
At the end of January, enrollment was 3,202 students. That's down 4 from the previous month. It's up 9 from the same period of time last year.
Financial report.
This is a summary of our financial activity for the month of January. We received state revenues totaling $2,069,439.87. Federal reimbursements totaled $137,963.71. Local cash receipts totaled $3,739.58. Title I reimbursements received totaled $237,895.19. And insurance receipts were $638,700.52, for total revenues of $3,087,738.87. As of January 31st, we have received 48.92% of our estimated revenues for the year. Our expenditures for the month of January, general fund payroll and accounts payable totaled $2,632,291.31. Title I payroll and accounts payable totaled $130,351.73. Head Start payroll was $85,604.08, and insurance payments totaled $510,062.58. Our expenditure totals for the month of January, $3,358,309.70. And as of January 31st, we had used 44.41% of our appropriations for the year.
Any comments or questions?
Mr. Chair, I have just a couple. Denise, I know there's 2 new bills on the bill sheet that's coming up also. One of them is the school savers.
Yes.
You know what that pertains to?
No, but I'll find it before.
It's not categorized, so I just, and also the test for higher standards.
I'll pull them before we get to the bill.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Thanks. Section 7, the action agenda items. On A, consider approval to renew insurance coverage for 2014-2015 school year, all policies except health insurance.
This is about the year where we have our renewal package from Virginia Association of Counties. As you all know, that agency took over from the VSBA insurance where we had the winning quote from last year. So at this time, I need a decision from the board as to whether you want to put that out to bid or if we want to just renew with Baker for this coming year.
Well, last year we actually bidded, I think we only received bids from Baco and VSBA's, the only two bids that we received when we bid it, and those no longer are VSBA, so I really thought it was probably a waste of time.
Are we satisfied with what we have?
I don't have any issues with them. I can't answer for everybody on that.
I'll make a motion that we renew.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The approval passes too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Consider approval of proclamation recognizing School Board Clerk Appreciation Week, February 17th to the 21st, 2014, Mr. Carter.
We just like to ask that the Lee County School Board join with the VSBA in recognizing the many and varied contributions of our school board clerks by approving this resolution.
Move. Have a motion, have a second.
Second.
Have a motion, and a second, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. 2013-2014 school calendar as revised, Mr. Carter. Starting.
Actually, last month on this is the 2013-14, I'll go ahead and get started on mine on this and tell you that last month the board did make some changes to the calendar. We only have one day remaining that is an actual built-in snow day. Mr. Miles and I talked some today about the revising of the calendar, and we feel like that, of course, with the upcoming or pending storm, that not sure what it's going to do or how it's going to affect us, that it might not be a bad idea if the board just table this and wait until next month and let us take a look at it after we see a little closer to where we're at with the number of days that we missed.
That agreeable?
Table.
Okay. We'll table that motion. Next, the school.
That's it right now.
Well, Mr. Early's one of the one that's actually responded. I did ask him for that, and of course, I think he's planning on doing it after school's out. So whenever we determine the last day of
Okay.
school, he's going to wait till after that date's determined and then set his date.
Okay.
The school calendar for 2014-2015. Ms. Doherty or Mr. Carter? This is
I'll let Mr. Doherty go ahead, but I will say that last month when we presented the calendar, we were presenting a 180-day calendar, and I know there was some question about that. And actually, I'll let Ms. Doherty go ahead and explain, and then if you have any questions, we'll certainly try to answer those.
You'll notice on November the 3rd, there's requests for Mr. Twig for there to be no school, and then professional development day on 4th. I made that change. You see any further changes or additions?
And in May, we did have 20 days listed as there being 20 teaching days. There was just actually miscoded there on the 27th being the last day of school, and the 28th, but it should have been the 28th, so we just want to make sure you understand that. So that there is actually 180 days in the calendar, and that's really what was intended in the, having to start ahead of figure to start with, because we had 20 days down toward the month of May.
Mr. Chairman, may I?
Sure.
I voted against the school calendar the last time because I didn't like any of them. Really didn't like the one that was presented. And I was willing to take my wounds and come tonight and not say anything until I went into Pennington Middle School this week and was confronted confronted by, last week, and was confronted by 3 women teachers who started, and before we got through, I had about 5 or 6 there. And we wondered why that we had so many people that didn't vote either way for any of the calendars. Teachers told me that they were not happy with any of those calendars, as I was, and I said, well, I voted against it. But they said they voted against it. They didn't like what was there. And I told them that I would bring it up one more time, and I would bring this up. We have 17 days off for Christmas there. And this year we came to school, did not come to school on January the 2nd and 3rd. It was pretty and we could come. Knowing the snows are going to come. And they didn't like the fact that last year, and I noticed it's not on there this year, I don't believe, yes it is too, for election, that we took 2 days off for the election. And they liked what I presented the last time, which was we had to take election day off because they got the vote. But I don't see why that meeting was scheduled for Monday, couldn't be scheduled Tuesday. We couldn't come on to school on Monday. And the meaning of the whole thing is we're running into a problem this year because we're probably going to have to go extra time. Every teacher I've ever talked to wants to get out as early as they can, and I think just building in these so many days, we got a week for Thanksgiving built in here, 2 days in November earlier, that's 7 days in November built in. We've got 16, well, it's not that many days, it's just a couple of weeks, but it runs in because of weekends. It runs into 17 days at Christmas, another week at Easter. And I personally, my opinion is that if this is voted on tonight, I'm going to vote no again. But I sure would like to see if we could find some way to find how many of these teachers didn't vote for one of them, because there's a huge number of teachers that did not vote anyway. And I don't know that all of them didn't vote for that reason. But if there's a way to do it, I certainly would like to see some more input from some of these teachers as to why they didn't vote on either one of them. That's it. Come through.
Excuse me. I did send that request out to every school.
Yeah, I know you did.
All the principals.
I talked to Miss Darty a while ago. Me and her are good friends there, and we'll be when we get through on this.
Just wondered too about a possibility, instead of having to come back Monday and spoil the week, if teachers wanted to finish up that last work day on Saturday, if there could be a little leeway there.
Where you at?
In May. The 29th is a work day, and then you come back on Monday and do your other work day.
I got you.
Yeah. And I know in other times, some have come in on a Saturday to finish up rather than to break up another week. That would just be, at the option.
It's always been a right.
Yeah, I start to say that shouldn't be a problem. Most time the principals, if the teachers request that, we're willing to do that. That's no problem with us.
We certainly can table this till next month if we could find some way to get some more input from teachers, but if they gave you no input to start with, I don't know. What's everybody's, we're ready to go ahead with it tonight? Is there a solution for middle ground?
I think Ms. Darty took the input that she received, and actually they worked with the principals to develop 5 different calendars, and they had 5
This is what we
options
got.
to choose from. The board voted last month to approve option 4. Is that correct, Ms. Darty?
Yes, sir.
This is revised forward.
This is revised 4 because on 4 last month we had down 20 days in May, and that was the
Okay.
main issue. But they're actually, when you count them, there was 19. But we certainly meant to present a calendar with 180 days.
And Mr. Carter, on the input from the teachers, all the input that I received from every teacher is in some calendar out of the 4 calendars that I presented. I had each school sign off, all the teachers sign off, and then the principal sign off on that as well.
Any more comments?
Say we vote.
Do I have a motion to approve the revised number 4 calendar?
Make a motion.
Have a motion, have a second.
Second.
Have a motion, and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Consider approval of the overnight field trips. Mr. Clark.
Mr. Chairman, we have 4 requests for overnight field trips, for the one for the DECA competition in Virginia Beach on February the 22nd or 26th through March 2nd. Another for the LCCLA State Conference in Virginia Beach on April the 3rd through April the 6th. Another one for all district course at Abingdon High School on March 7th and 8th. And the final one for the all-state band competitions at James Madison University in Harrisonburg on February the 21st and 22nd.
Any discussion? Can we just group these together and purpose of saving time? And can I get a motion to approve these field trips?
So moved.
Have a motion, have a second?
Second.
Have a motion, and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Carter, consider approval of agreement with the Moving Forward Physical Therapy, which is the new therapy operation there in Pennington, which replaces what Wellmont provided. Mr. Carter.
Mr. Chairman, we have an agreement with Moving Forward to provide our physical therapy. We'd just like to ask the board to approve that agreement, and I certainly would recommend that.
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion, and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Need a motion to pay the bills.
Okay, if I may.
Sure.
Mr. Chair. I have the 2 invoices Mr. Twig had a question about. The school savers invoices for a total of $3,619.95. That's for calculators and graphing calculators for test taking. Tests for higher standards are, these are assessment programs for academic disciplines for improving student achievement on SOLs. And that's paid for with Title I funds.
Okay.
You want to?
No, I've never noticed paying the bills before, and I just wondered what they were.
Okay. Well, this, we have done, we have purchased calculators for school savers before,
Okay.
but probably not
If it
more than
doesn't
once
pop
or
up
twice
each
a
month, I
year.
don't recognize it.
Okay. Any other questions about the invoices?
Thank you, Denise. Make a motion, pay the bills.
Have a motion, and a second.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Pay the bills. Reports and recommendations of the board, Mr. Twig.
I was just gonna ask Mr. Carter, how do we come along on that, like liaison thing we discussed the last meeting?
We've talked with discussed it with the principals, and they're selecting a representative from their staff to serve on that committee.
Wonderful. And I'd be willing to volunteer to represent the school board and the board. If anybody else would like to also, I think it'd be nice. I appreciate it. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Twig. Ms. Jessie.
Yes, I attended the Capital Connections meeting through the Virginia School Boards Association at the end of January. Among the things that we lobbied for was the statewide health insurance. Unfortunately, it died for a lack of a motion in subcommittee. So that ability is out. the A through F grading of schools. There is a couple of bills about delaying that from either 1 year to 3 years. And then there's a bill to do away with the takeover mechanism. However, that was defeated. However, they said that they would do it by defunding the OEI. And that would be moving about $600,000 more into the budget that education could potentially be used. I did speak with the sponsors of the salary increase bills, and at least one of the gentlemen was very receptive to having some flexibility about maybe not necessarily providing a percentage increase. And while not exactly completely education related, I did talk with the legislators about what they could do about providing a certificate of need for a hospital in the county, and was receptive on that. I would also like to thank the clerks for their service to the board, and also to the schools and those that provided the gifts to us. I've not looked over the table yet to see what's there. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman.
I just want to thank everyone for the gifts, and I always look forward to digging in those and reading the cards in there, so thank you. And also thank our clerks for doing such an outstanding job every day, not only just on board nights. So thank you.
I'd like to echo those sentiments for the hard work and sometimes wondering why you're doing what you're doing. I think one of the reasons we do what we do is those kids that came up here tonight, and those kids that we read the names off, those kids that are representing Lee County and Lee County school system in a great way. And you hear a lot of negative, there's a lot of positive to go with that. It starts at the bottom and goes to the top. We're all just as strong as our weakest link, and I like to think we got a lot of strong links in this system. Mr. Wiggins.
I also would like to thank all those for the gifts, also for the meal right there. I know the next step, that is very, very good. And I'd like to say something especially for the clerks here. Appreciate their work. I work with all three of them. I want to tell everybody something or other. I honestly believe if something happened to all the board members tonight, the school system would go on. If something happens to these clerks, this school system is deader than a doornail. And they do the most important job in this place. I really wouldn't do the job, particularly now since I'm retired anyway, but I wouldn't do the job that Denise does. It paid me half the money in Lee County to do it, because it's a thankless job and it's hard to do. I also like to say, since this is school board week, I want to tell you I am very proud of these people that I sit with on this board up here. I know some of you don't like some of them, and a whole lot of you don't like me. But I want to tell you that they do get back there and they work hard. And I would like them just a little bit better tonight if they had voted for me on that other thing here a while ago. But, I want to tell you that they're doing a good job. And when people come up to me and tell me that nothing has happened in the last year, 2 years, I'm just going to look at them every time and say exactly the same thing. We're saving our taxpayers, we counted $4 million over what the school system ran 2 years ago, a year. And that is hard to do when we're pushed to the limit and they have to make decisions they don't like to make sometimes, and I do too. But I thank everybody in the school system, because it may be a step forward, a small step forward, but we've made some gains in this school system. I'd say one last word for our kids, and some of those here, because I know some of them personally there and everything else. Our kids are everything. It doesn't matter. I'm so old, it doesn't make any difference what happens to me or what I get up here and say wrong. we don't get these kids trained to turn this country around, we're in bad shape. We're headed the wrong direction, people. We can't do it. Those kids can if they get the right training and the right leadership and will come back. So I'm very proud of this group here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, for most of those comments. Would someone read us into executive session, please?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we go to executive session to consider consultation with legal counsel 2.2-3711A7, discipline of a student, section 2.2-3711A2, and personnel section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia.
Have a motion and a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're in executive session.